Hello, welcome to the second part for this video series on creating the second SQL predicate. So in the first part of these videos we managed to get the information we needed from the custom object. Respectively, we have the table in which the custom object is stored in, this one. We have the column name for where the account dynamic choice list says or stores its values, and we build a query to return those accounts in which the login user is part of the sales team. Now all is left to do is put everything together and actually create a syntax for our SQL predicate. As I told you before, the SQL predicate syntax looks like this. We have this keyword table alias, we have the column, and then we can use in or simply equals, and then we have our select statement. So to build our SQL predicate, what we need to do is to actually, let me remove all this so it doesn't become confusing. Right, so we use table alias dot id. This is the primary key of your custom object. We use the in keyword, and then we encapsulate this entire query, which is actually this one from here in between the parentheses. As you can see, I return the ID of the custom object record. Then I make sure the account selected in the custom object is actually an account which has the party ID, which has the login user in the sales team. Right, so this exact query is this one, to which I added table alias .id in, right, and encapsulated between the parentheses. Now we can take this one from here. We go to our application, we go to security console, we use the last tab, administration. Let me actually do these actions so you can see them. So we went through the navigator to security console, last tab, administration, manage database resources, type here OSC to search our custom object, edit custom object, go to condition. I've already created one here, but there's no problem, we can create another one. So we create a new condition, let's call it ACC from account, switch this to SQL predicate, right, and take your SQL predicate from wherever you wrote it and copy paste it into here. Make sure you don't have spaces, make sure you didn't had misspells or I don't know, forgot some comma or parentheses, because if this is not correct or you made some mistake here, when you actually log in with a user, it will give you an error on UI. So now we have our condition here. We save this, submit, we get this confirmation message. Now we can use that condition in a custom job role, and we already have, if we recall, custom job role called tutorial predicates. So just select this, edit it, go to data securities, create your new data security, give it a name, select your database resource, okay, instance, I said we need to use this middle option, select by instance set. Now we have the option to select from our conditions that are on this custom object or on this database resource, and this is the one we just made. Then we can give the actions that we need. So I'll just give everything right here. Click OK, and just like that, we have a new condition, a new data security based on our condition into a custom job role. Let's save this, save and close. This job role is actually mapped to a login to a user called security to user of which I've already logged in into the application. Let me put this here so you can see. Right. So let's log out. And then just log in for refresh. Okay. So if we go to the custom object, we see we can have two records right here, and in each of these records there should be an account selected in that custom dynamic choice list. Well, this is kind of expected. There is an account here, I can show you, but the problem is my login user does not have access to the account object, as you can see. So the system will not show the actual value that is selected in this dynamic choice list. There are some enhancement requests that will make it so in the future to have here at least the value, to be visible, to know that there is something selected here. But for now, this is the behavior. Unfortunately, if your user doesn't have access to the object to which the dynamic choice list points to, it will not actually see the value at all. But just to show you that we have an account there, let's go with our admin user and let's go to the custom object. And if we open the record, we see there is an account there actually, and if we go into the account, we will see that the user underscore security underscore 2 is actually in the sales team of this account. So you can see we have the user right here. Right. So unfortunately, this is the behavior for now. It will change in the future. As I said, there are some product enhancements that will make it so you can see at least the value selected in the account, even though you won't be able to navigate since your user doesn't have access to that object, but you should be able at least to see it. So that's pretty much it. That's the second SQL predicate we built. Just a short recap. So what we did was, first we got the information we needed to build the SQL predicate, and that was the table in which the custom object is stored, the column name in which the dynamic choice list stores the values. Then we build the SQL to return those accounts that have the login user in the sales team, and in this SQL we actually use that global function for returning the login party user ID. And after that we actually build the SQL SQL predicate code like so. And I told you in a previous lesson we can actually make this in a different way. For example, if we look, let's take this query here and let's put it here. We see we have this this part right here. Well, actually this entire code right here can be actually replaced with this table alias variable. So we can do something like this, right? And this will work just as well as this one. And just to convince you, let's take uh, this part right here and let's replace in the application and see if it's still working. Let me cancel out of here. Let's go to the security console and let's go to the last tab, administration, manage database resources, search the custom object, edit it, go to actions, edit the new SQL, the new SQL predicate condition we made, and as I said, let's replace this with this and see if it's still working. Save and submit. Click OK. Now let's log out from here and then log back in and see if our predicate is still working. It should be working. There should not be any problems, but let's see. And as you can see, we get the same results. So again, you have two ways to create your SQL predicate. First one, you do it like this. Use table ID, table alias with the primary key of the custom object, which is ID. Then you use the in keyword, and then you encapsulate this entire select statement in between parentheses. Right, and we return just the custom object record ID. Now there is a second option in which we replace this entire part with just this, and from here on out is the same SQL. Okay, so now we are actually looking just for that column in which the account stores its values. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That was the second SQL predicate. I hope this was useful. I hope now you are able to create your own SQL predicates. The process is always the same. The difficult part is to know, depending on your requirements, which table to use, and for that you have Oracle repository in which you can or Oracle docs, for example, here where you can look at the tables from Sales Cloud and read about them and see which one you need to build your SQL. And once you have the SQL, you can just make the syntax for your SQL predicate and use it in the application. And where do you test all the SQLs? Well, in the BI solution that we have as a data model, and I showed you how to do that. Okay, that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the last video where I will talk about copying rows. Have a good one.